What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to talk about this article that Jason Schreier wrote very briefly, very briefly, and then we're going to be done. Simply because this is something that I've been following for a very long time. You did not have to ask anybody, as Jason did with 12 or a dozen developers within the studio. You did not have to ask them anything. Everybody saw majority of how the Suicide Squad game unfolded, and everybody that's in this pipeline in the superhero game genre, especially the DC side, has seen that they moved away from making the single player game, having dropped 3 wonderful Batman games, including a 4th one that was done by Warner Brothers Montreal based on just a branch of Arkham City that was given to Montreal. Like they took just a save file of the development kit or a bunch of save files and gave it to Warner Brothers Montreal, and they banged out an Arkham game that was good. That's how good Rocksteady's Arkham, product is, that they could take a piece of it and basically it can churn out a beautiful game if put in the right hands. Now, I've seen a lot of people blaming Stefan Hill. While there is blame and there is responsibility and ownership for Stefan, there are other factors at play. And I wanted to make sure that we look into everything. Like we get our hands, in a sense, showcasing everything that's going on. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys. Let me go ahead and just read the first few lines of the article, and then you're going to see what I mean. Jason Schreier writes, David Haddad, the head of video games for Warner Brothers Discovery Inc., visited the London offices of subsidiary Rocksteady Studios in mid-February for an all-hands meeting. While previous gatherings with the executive had been prepared with tactful euphemisms, this time, Haddad was blunt. According to 2 people briefed on his remarks, weeks after its release, the studio's latest game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, was tanking. He shared a few details on the exact scope of the squad misfire, said the people, who asked not to be identified, discussing non-public information, but it didn't take long for them to find out the extent of the damage. Negative $200 million. Stefan and Jamie have left the studio. We don't know under what terms they left the studio. Now let me bring you guys to 2018. You see, gamers, we need to learn to go and do contextual research. In 2018, John Papadopoulos of DSO Gaming wrote this article that says Warner Brothers follows Ubisoft's example. Will move everything to games as a service. In an interview with GamesBeat, David Haddad, president of Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, revealed that the publisher plans to move everything to games as a service. This is the second publisher that invests as much to gas as possible, with Ubisoft already doing this with pretty much all their franchises. Hey, look at the article here, guys. It's here. This is from 2018. It's like a big old article. You can basically go back and you can, read the interview. It's a full-blown interview. Do you know what happened in 2016? In 2016, Batman Arkham Knight had been basically about a year old. It wasn't long after Arkham Knight came out that David Haddad took over Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. And when he saw that the live service games were churning out money, he made the business decision to start making the shift. Enter the cancellation of the Suicide Squad game, as Jason writes in this article. If you read the full article, from Warner Brothers Montreal, and moved it to Rocksteady. While Rocksteady was basically trying to make another game, they basically took the Suicide Squad name and gave it to them. So, this is where we already had a challenge. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment is in a very peculiar spot. They looked at Ubisoft, but they didn't look at Ubisoft's manpower and their width and their scope and their capabilities. Instead, they decided that they were going to take their talents that is limited to a specific style of game and a specific way of doing things to try to do something that Ubisoft and its 17,000 game developer employees around the world with multiple studios do. Not an easy task. Rocksteady, of all studios right now, is helping build Hogwarts Legacy. How the tables have turned. But Stefan has blame to take, I guess, from, if you read the article, I read the whole article. There were changes that were made. There were all kinds of things that were done. This is normal in game development, by the way. I'm working on my own indie game, and I can tell you we've changed so many things. In fact, at one point, I just decided that I wasn't going to even make a video game anymore. That's how much stuff just changed over and over and over again. So, yeah, I can see that happening. I'm not like, you're not oblivious. You have to test out some ideas to be able to see how it goes. Because, and if you don't have like a team that has fast prototypers, like your creative directors and such, then it's going to be a challenge. And Stefan is a perfectionist. I guess, would you blame, if he wasn't a perfectionist, how would we have gotten these Arkham games? So I see the gaming community quickly turning on him, and I'm wondering, like, come on, guys, people make mistakes. If Stefan is shooting, right, if he's shooting 3 out of 4, you got to give it to the man. 75% is not a bad batting average in today's gaming industry. So it is what it is. And he's going to go make another single player game that Xbox is, supposedly sponsoring. We're going to see if he's still got the juice. So let's not just act like, this has not been a thing where we can talk about many a business decision. In fact, in the article, again, there was another site where they decided that, the staff grew to about 250, which was way too much for managers. Oh, bro. Whoever gave you guys a mandate to make a live service game did not look at your capabilities. I kept telling you all that Gotham Knights was a solid game. Yeah, you didn't know. You knew. Some of you know I was going to bring Gotham Knights in here, right? Kept telling you all that game, in my opinion, was very interesting. The fact that Warner Bros. Montreal even had the time to make that game. Yes, the game was not the Arkham games, but hey, anybody can make a good game if they have the right conditions. And without the right conditions, a game can come out and not be a game that is liked. But there's also another side this article did not necessarily point out, in my opinion, and that was a fan response to the offing of the Suicide Squad members. You see, humans are humans. When you write a story for an audience, you don't go ahead and just basically destroy your superhero character or your hero character just like that. You're gonna get a response that you don't like. So this $200 million loss, if we put it in a pie and we chunked out all the problems from it, there are many slices that can go in there. It's not all Stefan Hill. I mean, I think the article was very, very unfair and very tilted against, Stefan and Jamie, which is weird because I don't know them. Sure, I like Batman games more than I'm happy that they brought the Batman games, but having been somebody who's been following this story for a long time, I just feel like, we in the community, we know what's up. Not throwing shit at anybody. I'm just saying that we know what's up. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.